All right. So, with everything going on with the Gemini situation, and frankly, in very, very, very large parts of Mr. Bruno utilizing his platform to speak against this, a platform, where somebody, and I give him a lot of credit because it's a very big platform, and it's a platform where this has absolutely nothing to do with his normal content. And so, like, he continuously reposted a video over and over again until TikTok stopped banning it, and I think that shows just a incredible strength of character. And frankly, I think that if anything, we should probably maybe even go as far as to lead with that video. We lead with the video that we're referring to.
Seeing his videos of this nature,
because this really is the big turning point in everything going on. Was this video from Mr. Bruno? This is what really brought awareness to it. So
have been taken down multiple.
So we're gonna watch this video first.
Seeing his videos of this nature have been taken down multiple times by TikTok. I'm going to say this once, and I'm going to say this loud and clear. And if this gets taken down again, I will repost it over and over and over until I am banned from posting, because I won't allow this man to go by on this app unpunished and unscathed. Gemini official, you fucking disgust me. You took advantage of a 15-year-old girl, a child. You lied to me and manipulated me into believing you and taking your side, and then you blamed your actions on her. You don't deserve your platform. You don't deserve your wealth. You don't deserve your success. You don't deserve sympathy. You deserve nothing. You have abused the power of your platform to use children for your own sick desires. Never, ever speak to me again. Seeing his videos of this nature have been taken.
Yeah. So this is really what popped off and what really got this going. It's for other people to come forward. Now, there were some smaller creators who came forward previously. I simply cannot find their videos and what they had said. But there are some larger creators who have come forward. In the absence of that, this is a small creator. Now, not all of these are about him predatorizing younger girls per se. But one of the points that I had made is that I think that Gemini is an individual who simply weaponizes mental health and is like an uncomfortable predator towards people in general, but small, like children seem to be included. Okay? His predatory behavior doesn't maintain or remain within the area of minors. Now, there's a couple people, like I said, that came forward a while ago. I can't find their videos anymore. One of them, and I just want to present this for context, was somebody who had said that she started talking to him on an app that was effectively like a pseudo dating app for younger kids, and the only way to talk to minors on that app is to register as a minor. She was 17 at the time. He was 19, but he registered as a 17-year-old so he could talk to other people that were minors. Now, we could assume that he wasn't going to register as a minor to simply talk to 17-year-olds, which may be legal from 19 to 17, because that's weird to have a specific thing for 17-year-olds. Doubt it. Is it called Yubo? Somebody said, yeah, that might be it. You understand my point? So let's go through these videos. This young lady has come forward and has presented her case. And we have to just keep in mind that everybody who comes forward on this and speaks on it is somebody who's braver than I think that a lot of people give credit to. Whether it's practical or not, there's always a fear of harm associated with coming forward on these and having some form of action taken against you. Okay? So keep that in mind, that even if somebody may not have personally experienced something harsh or uncomfortable, it's still tough to come forward on these things, especially given the situation. And especially going against a larger creator.
Michael's comment section, and I also used to blow up Gemini's comment section, but nobody really noticed or cared, so I decided to just block him instead. But me and Gemini used to go to the same college, Northwestern State University in Louisiana, and he was an RA at my apartment complex, and he used his power as an RA to break into the pretty girls' apartments and wait for them to come home and stuff. And he had been expelled from NSU for having so many sexual harassment and assault charges. He was reported reported to Title IX like over 15 times by the girls here. He was in a science class of mine about a year ago, and he would turn around and stare at me for sometimes the entire class period. I just blew.
So this clearly sets the stage for some bizarre characteristic of Gemini official. I don't understand what it is exactly, but it's something very uncomfortable about the individual. And this is going to be more context for the situation going on. They actually tagged me in here. I didn't even notice.
So this has gained
Let me just turn the volume.
a lot more momentum than I was expecting, and it's kind of freaked me out, but a lot of the same questions are being asked, and I feel like I have to make a part 2, I guess. So this is
I know it's very hard to hear, guys. There's nothing I can really do about that.
a mugshot from when he was arrested for sexual battery, it says, and it's really blurry because it's a screenshot of a screenshot.
Right, so this is apparently a mugshot of when Gemini was arrested for battery. Now, I want to be very clear because I provide full context. I can't find it at all. I can't find this actually on a website. This website seems to be under maintenance as of right now. And I'm putting that in for context in case this may... I believe it's true, but... because another individual came forward saying the same thing. But again, we can't, I simply cannot find the website where it says it. And that, I have to keep that context in there. It's just the right thing to do.
Shot from a guy who duetted my video and posted this, and it's a lot more clear on his duet, and I'll tag him in the caption. But this is the proof. For anything that I've said about like him being an RA or anything, I don't have proof like physical proof for that. My roommate was an RA, and she would come home and she would tell me about it, and rumors flied around NSU like as soon as it happened, and I did come out about it as soon as I found out it happened, and I did talk about it. I commented on all his videos, but nobody really cared, so I gave up.
It's fair. When this was first happening, it's been a wild ride. So I'll say I've been with this from the start, and I think that a lot of people have been trying to come from the perspective of innocent till proven guilty. Of course, when it first started, and we were brushing off smaller cases that we didn't know that were necessarily. I don't think I've ever seen her comments, but a lot of smaller cases were being brushed off as insubstantial because again. Of the idea of due process, even though this isn't actually the court of law, it's a social due process, and we're trying to find the most valid, heavy information to push forward, rather than trying to just stack a bunch of things that may have been, insubstantial. But we're at this point now where it seems like with these things coming out, they seem to have quite a bit of credibility. So,
like I said in my last video, I didn't.
And again, I'm sorry that these are so low.
Expect my video to blow up. I figured other people from NSU that knew him would also, make videos and talk about it, and I figured they would get the clout because I don't see myself as like an actual victim of his. Like, he just creepily stared at me in bio 1020, I believe. He didn't really break into my apartment like he did to the other girls and stuff, but
Now, just for context, when she talks about breaking into the apartment, so he was using his status as an RA to open. I suppose he had the keys or something to them. I just want to make sure we understand that he wasn't physically breaking them down, but rather he was, allegedly abusing his power as an RA to get into dorms.
And I think Papa Gut making a platform for the victims to speak out is really, really sweet and really, really smart. And
for context, I didn't watch that, so I didn't just play this to jerk me off. Okay, guys, but thank you, I appreciate that quite a bit. I didn't see that,
and I think their voices do need to be heard. I just don't think that my voice is one of those voices. I didn't really experience anything. I just, I went to school with him, and he was weird. Everything else is hearsay on my part.
Right. So again, let's establish that being weird isn't just like a weird anime nerd who's just a little socially awkward. This seems to extend quite a bit, and we're just getting started with everything going on. So this is apparently proof of Paul in the back row. I don't know how to crop it, so it's only him. So this is where Gemini, his name is Paul. I think that that's him right there. I could be wrong. I think it maybe is him. Looks like his hair. Could be wrong. It's hard to really see. This might be him with his head down. But I think that she's just trying to show that she went to the same school as you know, Gemini official. Right? Somebody's making the point that RAs apparently have master keys to the schools or the bedrooms or something. Okay, so this is another individual who had come forward. He actually DM'd me a little bit talking about it. And let's see what we got here. This is him. This is him him just talking about this girl. I don't know if he has additional information on the situation. We'll play it for a sec. He just says basically here, oh, I was waiting for someone else to say something about this, to put this out. Yeah, I don't know if he has provided any additional information here, so I'm going to move past it because I don't think that he necessarily has.
He's so surprised about.
So this is his video here.
It is so funny that everybody is so surprised about what Paul did like a year ago.
And again, for context, Paul is Gemini official.
Cause like, that's just how it is. Like, no cap. When he got caught with the whole pedophilic thing, I didn't even blink an eye. I just knew it happened. It was like, yo, did you hear what the fuck Paul did, bro? Like a 15-year-old? Yeah. That kind of seemed expected, to be honest. You're not like freaking out or anything like that. Like you're chill. Bro, I looked at the dude. I know this was bare minimum, honestly. I thought he was gonna kill somebody. Homie was weird. I thought he was actually gonna rape somebody. It's definitely, I don't know if it's worse, but it's. We thought I'd be like, no, I knew this was gonna happen. It is so funny.
So I believe this is an individual who went to school with Gemini, and
my bad. I completely forgot that like people don't know that.
This is his last video on
it. To me, I refer to Gemini as Paul because that's his name, and I'm not gonna call him Gemini. It's just such a stupid name. So whenever I say Paul, I really mean Gemini. Sorry for the confusion, my bad. My bad. I completely forgot that like people don't know that that's what his name is. To me, I refer to Gemini as.
So that's
Paul.
okay. So then you get that context that those two were somehow linked. I believe they were in the same school. I don't know if they know each other per se. This is just a screenshot of what she had before. They sent this to me again. I tried going to this website and I simply cannot. I mean, we could try again. It just says it's under what the fuck. Let me hit incognito mode. It simply says that it is under maintenance. So I don't know. Now it just says can't be reached. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Yeah, it says we'll be. So when you go, it says we'll be back soon. Sorry for the inconvenience. You know, it says it's an unsecure site. You know, I'm not trying to be that guy, but it seems like the credibility of this may be actually questionable. You know, I don't. Although, I mean, this is literally Gemini's picture, so. I don't know, unless it's a fantastic edit, but this looks very much like Gemini. I'm just trying to provide full context to make sure we're as accurate as possible. So this looks like him, though. I just can't get this website to work. Okay, so this is another individual who came forward on Gemini. All right, I think this is the first video about Gemini official, so we're going to watch this.
This is kind of a hard video to make. If you don't know about what's happening with Gemini official, please just go look it up on YouTube and look at all.
Right, so she just says for context here, I'm not doing this for clout. I already have 1.5 million followers. I don't need more. I'm showing that this man is guilty and doesn't deserve sympathy. Here's what I want to say. This situation, I don't think really gives anyone clout. It just seems like TikTok is beating the shit out of people on this, all right? Like, I've lost a tremendous amount of traction on my profile because videos where I talk about this get pulled down. It's bizarre, and I don't care, to be honest with you. Frankly, I have my own issues with TikTok and their very disingenuous, you know, mentality towards different things. They're very reactionary. They don't really care about true issues, and it's because they haven't taken a stance. They haven't even removed his verification. So as far as I'm concerned, TikTok knows what's going on. and that's speculative, and they simply don't give a shit because I don't know why. So, but I don't think that this is something that generates people clout.
All the proof, literally just looked at a 4-minute video, and I just want to say to any girls that are too afraid to speak up, I'm here to speak up about my situation with him. So Gemini and I were friends, and we would talk, and nothing weird, but I was 17 at the time, and I took some screenshots right now to just show. So he said happy Thanksgiving, blah 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 blah, and I said thank you, we were friends. And
all right, so let's go through this. So she said that she was 17 at the time. I'm going to assume that the age gap wasn't something that was tremendous. Okay, so maybe he was 19. I doubt he was 20. So right. So yeah, he was probably 19. She was 17. So it's not illegal. But what we're trying to do is we're just reinforcing the establishment that he has very bizarre, inappropriate, and predatory behaviors towards people. And there are other screenshots that I cannot find now, but people may be able to dig it up, or rather videos on YouTube that demonstrate that he's very comfortable utilizing mental health, manipulative tactics, and being overly nice in order to get whatever he wants to get from an individual. Okay. So this says, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a wonderful day. You're very beautiful girl, and I wish the best for you always. Right? So a little bit intense, but fine. You, Paul, I love you so much, Paul. I am so thankful for you. That's good. And then he sends her a picture of his abs. Okay.
he just sent this out of nowhere. And then he
a little
said,
aggressive. Then he just says, seriously, hey, what are you doing, bud? Just woke up. How about you? Just finished Black Friday shopping. He must have, I guess, I don't know exactly how Snapchat works, but she must have posted something, and then he said cute.
Cute. And below that,
and then she had said love underneath there. I think I would like to say for context. Then he says, bro, you a good kisser. You got some really good lips. Yeah, that's a myth. There's no lawsuit. I don't know what this is referring to. He saved this for some reason, or she did. But the next part seems to be gone. But it's like, there's a myth, there's no lawsuit. My friend had them over a year and wears them to sleep. I did my research. Huh? Girl, there's multiple people, including me, who had problems with their contacts. I don't know what's happening here.
he said, bro, you a good kisser. You got some really good lips. I couldn't find
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about there.
the proof where he told me that my queefs turn him on and he would FaceTime me to do it for him. But you can believe that or not, or take my word for it. I'm kind of like shook right now a little.
So just for context, and listen, this is what I do, is provide full context. This situation definitely sets Gemini up to seem a bit bizarre, but this isn't really, and despite potentially queefs turning him on, this isn't really displaying predatory behavior. I'm just being contextually accurate. It does it does lend to the idea that he is very weird, but I don't know that this is as inappropriate as it may be. He didn't necessarily cross any boundaries. It's a little bit suspicious, but it's not something major.
A little bit nervous. I don't know why. Kind of like feel like a lump is in my throat. So ladies, please protect yourself with pepper spray for predators. So take care. I'm not friends with this man anymore.
Okay, let's see what we have.
I can tough out the beer.
All right, so this seems to be okay. So that's what they had. That's what she had, right? And again, like, let's not, that's a weird video, but like, I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. That's not massively damaging evidence against Gemini official. So this individual, she's actually a rather large content creator. She came forward as well.
Gemini official.
And she bounced off of Bruno's video. And like I said, Bruno was very much a catalyst here. He did quite a very, fantastic thing.
You fucking disgust me.
Now, since this is finally coming out, let me tell you my story between me and Gemini. So I became friends with Gemini mutuals at the beginning of this year, so back in January. He proceeded to follow me on all my social media and not speak to me for a while, but until a few months ago. On every Snapchat I made, he would reply with, hey cutie, wow, you look so fine, and all these other really uncomfortable things.
So I think that kind of contributes more to the idea that he's very aggressive. He's very aggressive, going after women just very hard.
I was a minor.
Okay. Now, I want to say for context, I can't, maybe I didn't do enough research, and that might be my, okay, she's 18, he's 20. So
to follow up with that,
I just want to I just want to be contextually accurate. If she was, let's say, 16, he was 18, it's uncomfortable, but it is not necessarily legal, and it's not something that the society will ream against, but it's the interactions are still uncomfortable, and it just continues to lend and contribute to the idea of him being predatory in general, or hyper aggressive on people.
Saying he wanted to collab with me in an Airbnb.
Right. So yeah. So this seems to be rather normal with his
to unwanted photos and him manipulating me.
I want to say though, regardless of anything, sending or receiving photos to sending photos to a minor, illicit pictures to a minor, or receiving them is illegal regardless. So
this went on for a few days until I blocked him on all social media. Oh, but guess what I got in my Instagram DMs?
Hey, I get why you blocked me, but I have a video coming out on Tuesday. If you could please hold all judgment till then, you were a great friend, and I already lost so many. So I'm assuming this is during everything going on. This was like when he was kind of outed.
Pause to read. And you wonder why you lost friends. It's because of what you did to minors and me.
Right. So we're still building a story here.
Oh, I'm
right. So then here we go.
so sorry.
This person says, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to defend Gemini in any way, but you had so much time to tell somebody and you didn't, until now. It's kind of sus. Now, I want to be very clear. With her interaction, it's very, very inappropriate, very, very uncomfortable. Technically is illegal because he sent apparently very explicit photos to her when she was still a minor. But it's in general, it's difficult to come forward on anything, especially against a big creator. People get reamed, all right, for coming out. All right, when Ruby the Awesome Turd came out against Gemini, and I say this constantly for context. Even I looked at her video, and I knew what she was trying to do now. She was trying to get Gemini because she knew that he predatorized, young girls. But she didn't come at it well enough, and it made her seem like she was just trying to take him down. And even I was like, hey, listen, if we're gonna apply due process here, we can't just shit on somebody and take everybody's word for it, right? So you can very easily get attacked and taken down. And her putting up that video with the context of like normal Gemini things, everybody be like, oh, it's not a big deal, like you're just over exaggerating. But now that we have an idea of the inside of Gemini's mind more, we can definitely assert that it's very uncomfortable, bizarre behavior.
I bottled up my emotions for months because I didn't want to talk about a personal experience with a really big creator that people wouldn't even believe me on. I'm sorry that someone finally spoke up about the situation and for me to find out I'm not the only one. Oh, I'm so...
Right, so let's continue on because my understanding is these get quite a bit worse. Okay, so this is another big content creator, 5.3 million followers. And I want to say something as we move forward through these, because I know a lot of people, especially men and young men, are looking at these videos and they're going, these don't seem like a big deal to me, okay? I want you to understand that when it comes to things like sexual assault, men very much tend to dismiss the perspectives of women, okay? Consider them, contextualize them, and keep it in mind as we move on that the male perspective isn't the only perspective on sexual assault, okay?
You fucking disgust me.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I was one of Gemini's first creator friends on this app, and I was the one to get him verified. Let's talk about Gemini. I know so many stories now about so many girls that he's messed with. One of the most terrifying ones that will probably never come out because she's too scared to talk about it. If you can't hear their stories, at least you can hear mine. Gemini was one of the first creators I'd ever really talked to on the app. I put him in one of my very first creator chats that I made on Snapchat. I was a junior in high school and he was already in college. And
I think I don't know how old a junior in high school is, I believe. How old is a junior in high school? 16 to 17, he was in college.
It's so creepy.
So he was 18 or 19, which is bizarre and uncomfortable, even if it may not necessarily be illegal. That's very uncomfortable. So they were 16 to 17. He was anywhere from 18 to 19, probably.
To the point, whenever I met him at Playlist, I was genuinely scared to talk to him. Actually, when I spotted...
So regardless of whether the legalities are there, he very much is very aggressive towards women. That's what we're establishing here.
Spotted him in one of the Airbnbs at Playlist. I tried to turn around and run the other way. I have screenshotted proof of all the creepy stuff.
And he does seem to have like a motive of like, oh, let me get girls into an Airbnb so that we can collab. That to me shows that he's weaponizing his power as a creator to try to, engage in intercourse with women who don't necessarily want to engage with him.
Said to me as a minor, as I was screenshotting it because I had to add him back on Snapchat a couple of minutes ago, he was profusely apologizing. He realized I was taking the screenshots, and when I didn't stop, he was like, Jesus. I'll be posting a part 2 with all the screenshots.
Let's continue on.
Part 2 of Creepy Gemini. First of all, yes, I did get Gemini official verified a couple months ago when he was whining to me about how we didn't have a check mark yet and was begging me to go to my TikTok manager and get him verified. I sent her an email and she did. I was the one. Okay, now to the screenshots. Now that I put this up,
That's fine. I can understand that she fell back into a corner because he utilizes like sympathy to manipulate people. All right, so she says, "Hey, what's up?"
realized I didn't have the date, but this is from early January 2019.
All right, so, "Hey, what's up? I just wanted to say that you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." Okay, so this is a pattern. Every girl he sees is the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. And I'm so lucky to be talking to you, let alone have us have feelings for each other. That's bizarre. I want you to know that you are amazing and so successful. This is only the start, and you will be amazing in life. I hope I'm there for you by your side to support you. Okay, and she responds, "Thank you so much. That really means a lot. You are very special to me and such a talented, sweet person to be around." Now, if we utilize her context, she's really just saying this to be nice, but maybe there was a level of reciprocation in the beginning. I'm saying it for context, and it's speculative. "You are amazing, Caroline, and I know I'm busy a lot. You always always on my mind. Hey, thank you. Hey," she says, "Hey, baby, what's up? Watching the Super Bowl and doing my homework. What about you? Listening to music." So she initiated that second conversation.
This was our third conversation.
Okay.
We had
Yeah,
FaceTime one time. You can see my messages that I put hearts and stuff because I was just trying to be nice. That does not give him any more reason to flirt with a minor. This was in later February. I would try to not talk to him. You can see already, I'm genuinely uncomfortable.
All right, I don't know if she let's see it, but she says, "You are my everything. I think about you all the time. I can't wait till I get to travel the world with you." Okay, you like me, and that's fine, but like we haven't even met. So this actually does lend credibility to her argument that like she was trying to be nice and he's being very uncomfortable. I think we've all done it ourselves. People are nice people. We try not to shit on people, and we usually don't stand our ground as much because a lot of times normal, rational, or rather empathetic people will give up a little bit of themselves in order to not make people so uncomfortable. And he says, "I know I'm sorry I'm too much. I just thought it was something stupid. I don't know what else there is. Yeah, I like you. It's probably something the fact that I kind of like you. I can't see what's... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I like you again, but we haven't even met." Okay, that's fair. So then, like, what do? We like each other and stuff. So that seems to be completely ignoring what she just said, that we like each other, when she's just like, "Hey, like, not, like, chill. And I want to compliment you, but be there for you and flirt, but... let's see. I want to compliment you and be there for you and flirt, but I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I'm not sure. I just need to get to know you more, you know? I understand. Yeah, okay. So, very inappropriate, uncomfortable interactions with people.
Read the rest of it, you can. Just scratches the surface. I don't have most of the iMessages. I don't have most of the Instagram messages anymore. He was saying I was his everything when I was a minor.
And, like, I honestly do think that this is just, like, manipulative speech. And you guys might be like, this isn't as bad. But again, like, we have to get the pretext to all this. And those are 3 videos about 3 very disingenuous gaslighting apologies where he constantly says, "Hey, I love you guys so much." It's like pity tactics.
And he was in college. He's an obsessive creep. He's a creep. Part 2.
Okay, let's see.
Gemini official.
I think this is a repost of the other video that she made because it was taken down, but they reposted it
Not
again.
someone still...
All right, apologizing for making her uncomfy. Let's get this straight. The age difference between them is 3 years at best. She was a minor. Well, you know,
defending
was a buzzword.
Gemini and telling me my situation wasn't even that bad. Me telling my story about what happened to me back in early 2019 with Gemini wasn't to be like, "Oh, I'm a victim." It was to further explain how much of a creep he is and how long he's been doing this. In the previous video, I mentioned that he did something extremely messed up to one of my friends, and because of that video, she texted me and was like, "Oh, okay," and posted a multiple part series about exactly what he did to her. Her name is @JadenCanDance, and she tells the whole story of how he took advantage of her while she was under the influence of alcohol. She has pictures of the bruises he gave her. She has screenshots of the excessive creepy text that he sent her afterwards. I was kind of curious at Playlist why he wasn't messing with me. It turns out it's because he was fixated on Jaden. I knew about this whole situation back in early March, but I wasn't allowed to talk about it because she was too scared to talk about it. Don't invalidate me for coming out about what happened to me, because other victims can come out too because they feel validated. Not someone still...
It's fair.
King Zippy just made a video about me making false accusations, saying that a whole bunch of popular creators knew that he was a creep. Asked me why I got him verified if I knew he was a creep. And he acted creepy
What?
towards me back in January of 2019.
Why I want to bring
I
up the
didn't
person.
know he was doing it.
I don't know why you'd make a dumb claim here. I mean, we're just gonna watch this. Just
King Zippy just made a video
I guess you get featured in
about me
defense of
making false
Gemini.
accusations.
Your video took my video way out of context, and I would like
All right, what the fuck's your video then? I don't give a shit about that. Where's your video? Oh, you already took it down. No, that's lucky you. I'll just tell you that. So this is the one that seems to be like the most damaging here. This is one she was referencing. Now, a lot of these other individuals are coming forward about very uncomfortable interactions that weren't necessarily illegal. This seems to tell, you know, a more intense story. So
this is a message for Gemini and Gemini only. So if you're not Gemini, you can still listen. I don't really mind. So, just because you didn't know her age doesn't mean it's all gonna go away because you apologized.
just want to be very clear that Gemini himself admitted that he knew her age. Even if we go under the idea that he didn't know her age, he maintained a relationship with somebody. By the way, I think any normal individual, if they accidentally slept with somebody who was underage, would completely cut them off forever out of pure shame and understanding that what they did was wrong. He does not seem to have that. He then actually engaged and asked her for nude pictures afterwards and then tried to hang out with her again. So let's just keep that context in motion.
Doesn't work like that. You're still a predator. I think it's time for you to get off this app because putting your account on private doesn't stop the fact that we're still talking about this. This is still a thing that happened. There's also something else we need to talk about. If a girl is drunk and you're sober and she's calling you, saying that she wants you, that doesn't give you a pass to go in because she says yes. She's intoxicated, mate. That isn't real consent. And the fact you had the audacity to blame her after she called you out, it's disgusting.
I'm not entirely sure what she's referencing here, but like I have to be contextually accurate regardless of whether I like it or not. From all the only information that she said specifically was that she gave consent when she is drunk and he wasn't drunk. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily predatory behavior. I don't know that being drunk necessarily makes it so that you can't consent per se. That's something that we have to have a conversation about as a society. But I do understand that somebody who isn't drunk versus somebody who is drunk, there is a power dynamic there with the person who is not drunk. So
Gemini.
But let's get into it. Because I have a partner who has experienced a situation where she was drunk. And it's not even necessarily the engagement that's a problem. It's the intensity of that engagement. And the inability to disengage, which is a problem.
Excuse my language. Do us all a favour and fuck off already. Oh, and I forgot to mention that your apology video sounded like a bunch of excuses. Anyway, if your name's not Gemini, have an amazing day. This is a message for
Okay, let's keep going through this.
Okay, let's talk about this then. I may have to do a couple parts. I apologise. Let me explain to you how this is my issue. So, Playlist Live. I never really met Gemini before. We didn't really know each other. He didn't follow me until Playlist. He knew who I was though because he came
apparently, just for context, Playlist is some kind of a convention.
And he was like, "Oh my gosh, hi Jade, it's nice to meet you." I hung out with Gemini quite a bit at Playlist. We made a couple videos. A lot of people were shipping us together, which I wasn't quite happy about. I introduced him to a lot of my friends as a friend and a friend only. Yet he still continued to flirt with me and be very overly touchy and clingy with me. When I go to these events, I like to see my friends, collaborate, but I felt like I couldn't do that because I was always tied down to him. This is where things start to get a little bit messy. I'll do a part 2. Okay. Part 2. So you guys heard me talk about an intoxicated girl that Gemini took advantage of. So I'm going to talk about that quick. It was the last night at Playlist and somebody threw a little get together in a hotel room where they had some drinks. This girl was drinking and got a little bit too drunk. So this girl, she was very drunk and it was getting late and she just wanted to go to bed. So she called Gemini because she thought she could trust him to drive her back to our hotel room. Now Gemini, he was sober and he knew that she was drunk because she told him, and I mean you could smell it on her. He drives her back to our hotel room, takes her into her hotel room and takes advantage of her. She then flew back the next day and he was already telling her that he was in love with her. He would spam her with FaceTime calls, text her 24/7.
That to me doesn't sound like there was consent given, okay? What it sounds like to me is that so there's a difference between somebody being drunk and giving consent or being, overt, and somebody being drunk and then you taking advantage of them, and they're not really resisting or not understanding what the situation. This is very different from what she had portrayed in the beginning. This does seem to be that he took advantage of her when she was drunk. Yeah.
I'll do a part 3. Part 3. So after she flew home, and was just completely fed up with all these calls and texts that Gemini was throwing at her, she texted him and called him out and told him what he did was wrong. Ooh, and boy, what he said. You wanted it. It was your fault. Mate, she was drunk. She didn't know what she wanted. She didn't know if she wanted pizza or a burger. She didn't know what was right or left. She couldn't even walk in a straight line. Now, I already know that the people telling me that this isn't my issue to talk about is wondering how I know all of this. But I know this because this is my story. I've been too scared to talk about it. I haven't even told my parents yet. I don't know how to tell them. My parents trusted me to go to playlist on my own, to have a good time, and that happened. It's just something your parents don't want to hear. But I've had people telling me that this isn't my issue to talk about, so I thought I'd let you guys know. I'm going to do a part 4 with some text. Part 3.
Okay.
Part
Yeah. All right. So it seems rather self-explanatory. It doesn't even seem like she gave consent. I think that her labeling of giving him consent seems to be more like her lack of resistance to the situation. That's not consent. There's a difference between giving consent and like somebody taking consent. I know that sounds bizarre, but if you're in a situation where someone's not drunk and you are, and they initiate with you, and you simply don't fight back or disengage as heavily as you would have normally have because you're intoxicated, that's not the same as giving consent. I think, honestly, that just seems to him like he very much just took advantage of her.
4. So most of our conversation where I was calling him out was on Snapchat, where I do have him blocked, and I don't feel like adding him again just because I don't want to talk to him. But I do have our text messages still. So
Okay.
These texts don't really show too much, but they do show how persistent he
Right, okay, what's your snap? He gives a snap, then he gives hers. Can you send me something?
was.
The Addy, please, I'm getting harassed. What? Are you okay? CEO forgetting to... Okay, yeah, that does show that he's
Like,
very
I
persistent.
mean, I didn't
Glad you're home safe. FaceTime when you get home. Hey, you busy? I'm staying at a friend's house. What's up? Can we FaceTime in 5 minutes? I'm with friends. Okay, sorry. I love you. Weird. Good morning, baby. LOL.
for 3
What the
days
fuck?
at this point, and he's already telling me that he loved me. Did I say it back? No. This is
Oh, wait, are my messages going through? Hey, why did you unAdd me on Snapchat? Is there a problem or something? You can talk about it. Hello, are you okay? What's wrong? What I do? You want to add me on Snapchat?
after I called him out on Snapchat, and he's still like, hey, why did you want to add me on Snapchat? Is there a problem? Yes, you know what the problem is. And then
Hello, what happened? He was all okay. Hey,
he's
now talk.
still spamming me with more messages after I told him to leave me alone. Gemini, I pray to God I never see you again. Part 4.
Yeah, it's just rather...
Sorry, I'm back again, but this is part 5. These are the pictures that I took when I got back home. You can see he was pretty aggressive. I had quite a few bruises all over my body. As you can see here, sorry the quality is really bad, but
No, listen, I have a... I referenced it before where, one of my partners, she had a similar situation where she got drunk, and, somebody, engaged with her sexually. And the thing here is that when we talk about consent, we don't talk about the removal of consent potentially, or the going far beyond, what's an acceptable limitation of sexual intercourse. I find it very plausible, and this is if I'm going to relate this to this other situation, that there was an engagement, and he decided to take out whatever potential sick desires that he wished upon her. Consent of sex is not consent of violence in sex. This is something that makes me rather very angry. I'm just letting you guys know. So I'm very sorry. I'm trying to be temperamental here, because it's like something that, like, it stirs something up in you when you're an individual engaged with somebody in like a relationship. Hearing stories like this can be very, very frustrating, make you very angry. And I am relating this experience with my partner to the experience that she's having. So, you know, it's something that if you guys, it's something that some of you may just not understand until you date somebody like in this similar situation. It's hard to emulate. It's not my experience, so there's a level of guilt associated with being as angry as possible, or not as possible, but being as angry. So, you know, very, this to me, there's so many nuances and there's so many things that I don't know if I can truly express them to some of you guys, where this is just so inappropriate.
Got fingerprints on my arms. There's a bruise on my wrist just there on my left side, and another bruise there where he was holding me down. I did have some bruising on my legs as well, but I don't really want to show those pictures as it's like quite, You guys can also check out Caroline's videos for her story as well. She's absolutely amazing. I spoke to her about it when it happened as well. As sad as it is, there's also more girls than me, Caroline, and that underage girl, so if you know Gemini or know anybody that does know Gemini, please be careful. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I just need a moment. I have a couple of. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I have some screenshots here that somebody sent me anonymously. I'd like to go through these screenshots next. Okay, so let's get through these screenshots. So they're blurted out. They're sent anonymously. Of course, we can understand why we're sending, sending them anonymously. Okay, let's get into it. I have info, and this is a conversation between two other people, not me. Somebody had sent these to me. All right. So, I have info regarding Gemini Official or Paul. I really need someone with a big platform to help me out. If you are willing, I saw your video and your bravery has inspired me to share my experience and also very important information regarding his past. This is the screenshot, the snapshot of Gemini. It looks like him. Has old hair and it looks like him from the side, and some kind of like a prison outfit. That's what it looks like. I don't know if you're even going to see this, but there's a mugshot of Paul from last year. I want to say around October 2019, who was arrested on accounts of multiple sexual battery accusations from girls on the college campus he attended and was expelled from that. I attended along with him. He was a personal friend of mine for a few months until he was exposed, and I have my own uncomfortable experience with him. Now, I want to say something. Larger schools tend to have their own police force. And they tend to deal with their shit themselves, and the way that they tend to do that, and like, listen, I can't find a ton of substantiated evidence here, and I provide that for context, but the way that a lot of larger schools with their own police force handle situations like this is to sweep it under the rug. It's very much a known thing. It doesn't go to the regular police. If you call a regular police department, they will redirect you back to campus police. That is a thing that I think that everybody should keep in mind. It is a disgusting aspect of our culture, and it's something that you guys should keep in context. Okay. Let's see. Help, please. Then they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, hon. I want to post it, but I'm afraid people might think that the mugshot doesn't look real. Like I thought mugshots were in the front." That's a good point. No, you have a good point. I understand they usually are, but this is taken in a sheriff's office in a small college town. It was trying to find the arrest report, but it happened a year ago. But thank you anyways. You're very brave for sharing your story, and even if you can help me, I do want to thank you for it. I don't feel so alone anymore letting myself be manipulated and used by him. Can you tell me his full name so I can try to help and find it for you? I would be able to speak up about it. or you can too. No one will judge you, especially with police evidence. I've tried looking everywhere. His name is Paul Bryant, and he was taken into custody in, I don't know how to pronounce that, parish in Louisiana. As far as I know, all allegations went through our college through a Title 9 policy, so they're kept private, but the arrest is public knowledge. I'm talking to Papa God. Is it okay if I give him the information? Yeah, that's fine. Can you please leave my name out of it? Of course. Thank you so much. Actually, he said he's already talked about it, so no worries. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, there you go. That's there you go. It's a lot of information there. Quite a bit. There seems to be another, so somebody backtracked and dug up some of the information from this content creator. This is rather old.
Gemini.
I would 829 is what this is from. I want to get back down to that point so that we can look at it. I think there was a couple of videos. That is very loud, so we're gonna mute this for now. So we get to 829. Here's 831.
You are a lot.
Is this even the correct? Oh, this isn't. Try that again. This way we can actually mute it for now. It's 829, right? Is that where it was? So 829. Okay. What's this? Okay, and I think that there might be more than one. All right, so let's listen to this individual. This one was rather old. This is one of the ones I was talking about where I couldn't find it. Let's watch this.
Gemini official. I want to talk about him. I knew Gemini.
So she just says here, I don't know about him being a pedophile, but I know he's a liar and a bad person, and this is what I know.
Official for a little while, but it's a really long story, and I don't think I can fit it in 60 seconds. But basically, here's the gist of why I made the video. Here is a screenshot of basically him threatening to kill himself because of me.
Okay, so I don't know if we get... remember this when you made fun of my mentality? Yes, yeah. I don't know exactly what this is. Oh, she just references him having a pity party for something. He says, what if I did kill myself because of you? Now that is exactly what I was talking about before when I said that he has a history of like being, you know, this is mental abuse. Weaponizing suicide? Okay, it's a big deal, man. It generally, you know, I mean, listen, I've dated a girl who I didn't break up with them because they said every time that they were going to kill themselves. It's a real thing. This is a weaponization of mental health, and honestly, empathy, and it's trying to take advantage of people's basic, you know, human, I would say, like, just their basic empathy. I told you I wasn't going to give you a pity party. Yikes. That's not a big thing. Telling somebody not going to give you a pity party doesn't mean that they're being, you know, this isn't the response. Taking your own life. It's manipulation.
Because I told him that I didn't want to throw him a pity party. And I quote. You can see it up in this little screenshot if you really want.
Yeah, I don't know if we can actually zoom in, potentially. Oh, well, it doesn't zoom in on the video, so that's doesn't exactly help us here.
This is him ignoring the fact that he made me uncomfortable and basically manipulating me into adding him back on Snapchat.
Okay, then I was going to ask you something pertaining to an opportunity, but I forgot we are never on good terms, and you unadded me. Okay, so yeah, that's more manipulative language. Like, hey, I'm a big creator, I have opportunities, and you know, but we're not friends, so fuck you. And it's just like, okay, I guess I'll add you, right? Like Tuesday or Wednesday, just add me back. LMAO. Why? Okay, yeah, more manipulative language.
And this one, my dog had died that day, and he thought this was funny.
Listen,
my dog is.
I'm not going to be rude. This is almost irrelevant to me. How's your dog dead? LMAO, LMAO. Like he's just reciprocating your energy. I don't really give a shit about this, to be honest. Not to be rude.
And when I joked about it, he joked with me, but I was actually really upset about it.
I'm sure you were, but this isn't something that we can necessarily, you know.
And then there's this when I was trying to explain to him that he made me uncomfortable.
Well, you got to understand, people don't know you or your situation, nor do they care. Everyone is just saying fuck it and going for everything they can to get their hands on. What? What the hell does this mean? I guess you just have unfortunate events going on. Your life isn't shitty. Something, Lulu, tons of people have life way worse right now, especially right now, so be thankful. What the fuck? So I didn't care about the dog per se, but this interpretation of Gemini, if we will assume that he was like, oh, that makes me uncomfortable that you're joking about my dog. The normal response would be, oh, sorry, like, I thought that was like the energy you were giving off, my bad. What the fuck is this, though? You know, like, basically what he's saying is like, hey, it sucks that your dog's dead, but like, there's worse, so fucking shut up about it. Imagine that's how you engaged in every situation. It's like, oh, I fucking cut my finger. Well, some people literally have no legs, so stop complaining. Like, I don't understand. This is stupid, manipulative, weird shit that I would assume attempts to just try to bypass the struggle she has in order for him to extract some kind of desire he wants from her. Now, that's speculative, but based on him and his predatory behavior, I think that it's a reasonable assumption.
And then when I didn't want to add him back, he...
So you made fun of my dead dog and told me you would commit suicide because of me. Is that friendship to you? That is, you know, yeah, that's what he did. Come on now, don't play victim. You did so much to me: manipulation, extortion, bullying, attacking, mental abuse. So I believe none of this what he's saying, specifically because these are his things. Like, guys, go rewatch the videos I made. This is what he does. Oh, you're being manipulative. Oh, you're extorting things from me. You're a bully. You're attacking me. Mental abuse. He told people that I was attacking him and slandering his name because I came out with his story. And he's like, oh, Papa Gut's bullying a bigger creator. He's causing mental stress and mental harm. You see that? You see that? How incredibly manipulative. This guy's he's a sociopath.
Started texting me shit like this. Gemini.
So yeah, now this is just about the dead dog. I don't, again, it seems like she's talking about the dog. She made a joke. He reciprocated. Then she's like, I'm uncomfortable. Then he gaslit her into being like, well, you're not allowed to be uncomfortable. Fucking ridiculous. This whole fucking thing.